Right, I'm making this videos on the years that I have used anabolic steroids and about the road rage that you get from using all these steroidy things. Well, that can happen, but usually happens if set me flat there. Usually happens if you're a little bit that way anyway, and you're a bit prone to a quick temper. Then that can lead to all sorts of crap if you take steroids. But if you've got a little bit of control, then it won't actually do anything. Right, talking about steroids, my history. I actually started taking steroids when I was 21, and at that time, I'm going back to 1969, 68, 69, and the first steroid I ever used was, commercial name was Stromba, which actually was Winstrol as we know it today, stanozol. That was the one that actually Ben Johnson got caught with in the Olympic Games. So I think it was about, they found about 2 milligrams in his system, which was like doing nothing. But obviously, what it did prove that he was using steroids. Okay, so anyway, I used these for a 5 milligram Stromba stanozol, and I was taking 3 a day, which was 15 milligrams per day. And I think I did that for 3 months. And at the time, I weighed 11 stone 10. I was benching 310. I trained since I was 13, not because I hadn't used anything, but I didn't realise that you shouldn't take steroids if you're under 21 years of age. But that was, to be honest, I will be honest, that was a fluke for me, because these was the first steroids available in the UK. I don't know about America, because the internet wasn't around then, and there was no talk of anabolic steroids. I mean, as I say, the first person I saw when I entered the junior Mr. Britain with the NABA Mr. Universe in 1969 was Arnold Schwarzenegger, and everybody jumped on the bandwagon and said, yes, this guy's taking, he's 19, he's taking anabolic steroids, but inside he's actually got the age of a 65-year-old man, which obviously we know that's not true. But anyway, so bench press went up to 400 pounds from 310. But I've got to be honest with you, I was eating a lot. I actually had the alarm going off at 2 o'clock in the morning with a big jug of protein I had every night, and I trained heavy and hard. Bench press went to 400 pounds. I smoothed out, I was bulky, I carried a lot of water, and didn't really do me a lot of good. Anyway, after that, I had a break for about 3 months, and then the next time I tried anything, actually what I did, I went to Spain on holiday, and I walked into a pharmacy in Spain, which was really difficult then, because the language, you know, there was not like they are today where they can speak a lot of English. But anyway, I bought some Dynabol. I bought some Dynabol from this chemist, and they were small little white tablets, whereas the Stromba were like 4 times the size, and they were yellow, and they were 5 milligram. Because it was in Spanish, it was all in Spanish, all the instructions in Spanish. I never even attempted to look at there was no marking on the tablet saying what it was, so I assumed because of the size they were 5 milligram. So I started taking 4 a day, and I was training then for the Mr. Europe and the Britain and the Midlands. So I entered the Midlands first, then the Britain, and then the Mr. Europe was about 4 months after that. And I was taking 4 a day, and I kept on those 4 a day right up till the Mr. Europe contest. But hold and behold, anyway, lo and behold, that's what I was trying to say, I found out 2 years later they were actually 10 milligram. So I was actually taking 40 milligrams per day, which was a lot. But I stopped after that. Now we go to a lot of bodybuilders. One very good amateur bodybuilder, he went on to win the Mr. World. And I know for a fact that Paul Grant, his name was, from Wales, fabulous physique. He won the Britain, he won the Universe, He won the Mr. World, and he was actually obsessed with the game. And I know he was taking Stromba, I know he was taking Stanozol, but as to how many he was taking, I don't know. But I know I actually stopped bodybuilding in '76 because I turned professional wrestler in '77. So I touched nothing from then on. But that's what I used up to that stage, and that was the dosages I used. But unfortunately, as a lot of you may know, Paul Grant actually died of kidney failure. Now, the rumours going around, flying around, whether they were true, I don't know, was because he was on orals for so many years, and that's what did it, which it would have done. You can't take orals for that length of time. I mean, you're talking maybe 4 to 5 years he was taking them, I think. I know it was a long time. Right, so after that, I started wrestling in 1977. 1983, left knee injury. So I was in hospital 3 months. And actually, when I was in hospital, I know for a fact after the operation, they'd put me on some sort of steroid. Because it was quite embarrassing actually, because I was waking in the morning and the erections I was getting were like out of this world. And it was really embarrassing because every morning you have a young nurse come round to give you a bed bath, because I couldn't get out of bed. I was in plaster from here right down to the end of my foot. And yes, I had quite a few near sort of embarrassing moments with that. But anyway, it wasn't, I don't think it was that, I don't think they gave it me injectable. It was, I'm sure it was to be by mouth, but it was, I was on it for about a couple of months anyway. But the trouble is, you hold water, and my left calf used to swell with the water, and all I got off the consultant was you must keep your leg in this sling up in the air. But it's okay for a bit, but it drives you mad. But anyway, so after that, it was 1983 when I did the leg. I was in there for 3 months. I came out. So a long time of that was rehabilitating to get the knee right, yeah. Didn't use any stuff, used no gear. But I'm going to do this in 2 parts, because what happened after that, I actually then started working on starting my gym up in August of 1983. In fact, that was the actual month and the year that my second son, Craig, was born. But that's, I'm going to carry on, because obviously there's a lot more to say after that, because steroids, injectable forms, decadurabolin, testosterone and anthite, there was trembolone, which we called parabolon. But I want to go into that in the second part, because I don't want to make it too long, right? So anyway, that's part 1. And you don't want to know about the steroids. But, bit of roid rage, hang on. Yeah, I'll speak to you soon.